Well, guys, sadly enough, I have to start today with some bad news. Uh, we've got to figure out what we're going to do about it. But come out last night, did a chick count. We were missing two chickens. Two of the ones we just put in with the chickens. And again, we have not had a predator problem here. We have had something happen to one of the ducklings in the chick room. We're still investigating that. But we have not had a snake problem. We have not had a coon problem. We have not had a fox problem. We have 3 hawks that fly our property, and we have not had a problem. I'll show you what our problem is. No judgments because we haven't been out here to clean this up yet, but the rain's doing a pretty good job for us. But I'll show you. One, right there. Two, look right there on the ground. You see that? Found him. She was the only one in there yesterday because Freya climbed through the gate again, and I believe we may have fixed that problem by lowering the hot wire. Freya was out running around all day yesterday. We came out and we looked and looked and looked and looked last night. It's hard to find birds in the dark, but couldn't find anything. I walk out here this morning, right there in plain daylight. I've had so many birds killed by this dog. So many. Can't find her a home. We've tried selling her. We've tried giving her away. Nobody will take this dog. This was a last-ditch effort. I don't know if she pulled them through the fence over here where I don't have metal, or if they got in there on their own. But nonetheless, we know where they went. And that's what's important. I need to know as much as possible what happens around here. Things like that happen. I understand that, and I accept that. Accepted it a long time ago. But to not have an answer is not an answer. I don't know what we're going to do yet, because this has got to stop. It takes a long time for those eggs to hatch. It takes a long time for them to grow to a state where we can add them to our flock. There's a lot of time and money invested in those birds already. We just cannot keep this up. This is also why we are ending the breeding of the dogs and the cats. We're just not gonna risk being stuck with animals we can't find homes for, especially when they turn out like this, because it's absolutely disheartening to even think about what might happen to that dog, because we cannot have her here anymore. No more. She has cost, if I was to go buy these birds, she has cost us hundreds of dollars. That turkey she killed, or helped kill, that's a $75 bird. She was after it. The other dog ended up actually getting it, but it's not the first time she got a hold of a turkey. She doesn't do good with the horses. She doesn't do good with anything we have here except the other dogs. And I figure that will change here soon, because she's becoming an adult. And her and Freya even have it out sometimes. And I think it's just because they pick on each other. They get tired of it. I get it. But the point is, she's got to go. and I don't know what's going to happen yet. I have to talk with the wife on that and see what our options are, because I can't do this anymore. Um, that is the obvious answer of what's been happening to our birds. It's a pretty obvious what happened. We had 3 disappear while we were gone for my daughter's graduation, and no answer. No answer. There was no idea what could have possibly happened. Unfortunately, I didn't hear anything over the air conditioner. Had I been out here or even in the kitchen, I probably would have heard what was going on. But there's some people that don't think I understand that things like this happen, and I'm just a prick about my animals. But this is not selfishness. There's an answer. Animals don't just come up missing. Somebody either takes them, they get picked up, they're not reported as found. Now, older, sick animals are known to wander off and pass away, but you can find them. You can figure out what happened. Usually with birds, you find feathers, you find evidence. There's always an answer. And I got a whole lot of I don't know for a very long time. So, it's not about me. I've invested thousands of dollars into these animals. Thousands of dollars. And there has to be an explanation. There has to be an answer. Things don't just happen. Obviously, those chicks didn't just come up missing out of the blue. They never leave this little area. They stay pretty close to the coop. Right now, they're not courageous enough to wander very far from the coop. Now, here in the next week or two, I expect them to start wandering further and further out. It just happens in stages. That's how they work. I get treated a lot of times like I don't know what goes on with my animals, and it just kind of drives me crazy. But a farmer knows their animals, and I most certainly know mine. And I don't take I don't know as an answer, because you have to put a little bit of effort in to find the answer sometimes. We overlooked that last night, or I would have had the answer last night. But I didn't see it. I seen it this morning, so now I know. So, we had no idea what happened to him. I could have easily said, I don't know, and rubbed it off as nothing. But I need to know if I've got a predator problem, because I need to take care of that problem. And this is the problem you have trying to trust people watching your farm while you're gone, or your ranch even, because somebody's got to be accountable, and that's just the way life is. Saying I don't know is not being accountable. That means you didn't take the effort into finding out. See, a lot of times we have discovered animals missing long after the fact that it's happened. We come back, we do a head count, and we got animals missing. Oh, I didn't know. That's not okay. We count those chickens every single night. Every night. We make sure everybody is in that coop. And if they're not, we're out here looking for them. We're looking for answers if they don't show back up. We've had chickens not go in there. Woke up next morning, there they are. We had a turkey come up missing. Woke up the next day, there she was. I called her, she came right to me. This is not rocket science, and I don't know just doesn't cut it with me. There's always an answer. If that turkey wouldn't have come back, I'd have been out here in the trees looking. I'd have been looking to see if something happened to her. I don't know is just not an answer. We had a huge part of our flock disappear in our last location, and I don't know is a big answer. It was a mystery, and it still remains a mystery, because I can't guarantee that the fox is what was actually getting them. I never got anything on my camera, surprisingly enough, but it only happened while we were free ranging, so I can only assume that a predator got them. We did find some carcasses that would lead me to believe that predators got them, but I'm also believing that they may have been baited and went elsewhere. But we dealt with it. We moved on from it. We had cameras up watching the coop, watching the area, and unfortunately the chickens would go outside of that area, and once they go into the tree line, you can't really see what happens on camera. So it was kind of difficult to figure out what happened, but it was pretty obvious we had a predator problem, and we built a run and all of that, and we quit letting the chickens out. Problem solved. Here we have not had a predator problem. Our chickens range all day long, every day. I'm getting ready to let them out here in a little bit, and I'll come back out here between 8:30 and 9 o'clock tonight when it gets dark. About 8:30 they start going in the coop, and I will be out here doing a head count, and I will put them away. But right now I'm trying to figure out what to do with a chicken killer before I let them out, because I cannot risk losing any more, and that's just part of my job. I have to protect these animals and keep them safe, keep them happy, keep them healthy. I'm just kind of checking everything this morning and seeing what everything needs, and then we will go from there. One reason I know it's not a predator, because if we did have a predator, one, the dogs would be barking, there was something in the yard. Two, something would have already tried multiple times and may have been actually successful getting our meat birds. Excuse me. Like I said, we have hawks that fly over. Haven't lost a chicken yet. I do worry about the little ones that I add to the flock. Hawks could most definitely run off with them. And I do come out here multiple times a day and keep an eye on them. Now, after these meat birds are done, we could use this chicken tractor for our chicks, raise them up. Once they become that size, I could most definitely bring them out here and put them in here. I'm doing a head count right now. 6, 8, 12. Just like we're supposed to have. There's no damages. There's nothing telling me that something tried to get in here. I probably need to add a staple right there. Oh, excuse me. My throat is scratchy, really scratchy this morning. But I mean, nothing has tried getting in here. The wire is not tore up, nothing like that. This over here that I was just talking about, stinking ants, just needs secured there. I don't believe I had a staple there. There's no holes there, so it's actually two pieces of wire there, because this didn't quite go all the way where I could attach it, so I had to add another piece in there, and that is why that's like that. But there is absolutely no predators, no predator problems, and even with this here, I think that has been pried up on. Not sure what happened with that, but we'll have to beat that back with a hammer. But yeah, that's where we're standing at right now. Everything else is going great. The main problem with the chicks is they can get on top of the rabbit hutches. They can get in the dog pen, and until I can find out a way to stop that from happening, sorry about that. I have a little guard on there that keeps sliding in front of the camera, but we rolled out a hay bale yesterday, and they're up here enjoying it. I did that so we could spread seeds out, and maybe they'll stop tearing them up over there. They've already collapsed hay bale. But back to the chick issue. Until I can figure out how to get them to stop having access to the top of the hutches, there's no way that I can really prevent them from going into the dog pen. I've thought about a few ideas, but we may just end up moving the dog pen. That may just be the solution that we have to come up with. I don't know yet, but the rabbit hutches have to be in there because that is the safest place we can put them. We have not had them blow over yet in the wind. The horses, they do get in there if we don't shut the gate, but we try to keep that gate shut because the horses will get in there. That's why all the feeders have been moved inside the cages, and that is to keep the horses out of there. They'll actually sometimes get that gate open if we don't wire it, and they'll go in there and eat all the chicken feed. They'll eat the feed that the quail drop, that the rabbits drop. There's just not a whole lot of room in there. Get off of me. Oh, these ants are ridiculous. But that's why we put them in here, so we can secure them. And everything is just right here close and easy to maintain. And they are doing great. They're in shade for the majority of the day, so they stay cool in there. And the only time they get a small window right here, right across there of sun, other than what they get through the trees and things as the sun is on its way over there. The sun is not there for too long before it's behind shade again. They have these huge trees that provide them with shade, and this is a very shaded area. It has been. A lot of our property is, and that's why I have cleared what I've cleared so that we can get more grass growing for the bigger animals. And we moved the coop like this because it's shaded. It's a little bit closer to the house, not by much, but it's a little bit easier. We don't have to walk all the way around everything to take care of them. There's reasons why we moved it here. Um, some of our egg laying problem could be because of that dog being right there. So if anything, we'll move the dog pen. I'll have to build a new shelter for them somewhere, but I think that is going to be at least a temporary solution. As long as the chickens avoid them, they should be okay. But we're definitely going to have to do something else. And I may just have to leave the chickens in the coop until my wife and I can get out here and do something with this, because we cannot lose any more animals. That's just unacceptable. And there's only one animal here that is causing that problem, so it's going to have to be dealt with. I know how some people will deal with it, but I'm really trying to avoid going that route. I really am. But I'm not going to say it's not an option. We've had to do it, unfortunately. It's not something I enjoy by any means. But I have to take into account one animal versus my entire farm. And I have to protect my farm. This has been a long road, a long journey, and we have had to start over and over and over and over on our flocks. Whether it be predator issues or a pet, unfortunately. It's not the first pet that we've had, but we've been able to find them new homes. We found them new homes. And they're doing great. This one we cannot find a home for. We've been trying since she was a puppy, and it's just not happening. So we're going to have to take matters into our own hands. I've tried the electric fence. Unfortunately, that doesn't stop the birds from getting in there. So we're definitely going to be figuring something else out here. But I'm pretty sure I found out where the chicks are going. The duckling, on the other hand, I have not seen hide nor hair of anything in that feed room. So I'm beginning to think that maybe we have another rat in there. They are known to mess with chickens and things, and a duckling would be no match. I've not seen any signs of any kind of reptiles or raccoon or any other pest being in the feed room. So as far as I know, we're good to go. I really think if it was snake or raccoon or something like that, skunk, possum, whatever, we would have issues inside of our main coop, and we don't. So I'm thinking it's just a rat that got in the feed room again. We will have to get that taken care of. So far, I haven't found any chewed up feed bags or anything like that, but there's definitely something rooting around in those walls, knocking the sawdust out of them. Apparently this was insulated with sawdust, so there's definitely something going on in here. I may just have to get a camera up and see exactly what is going on in this room. We've had chicks out here in the brooder room, no issues whatsoever, and that just tells me that whatever it is in this room, and we need to find it. If it was a snake, we'd have a snake in our coop. We don't. Our eggs, on a good note, have increased. We got more eggs coming now, and that is awesome. I'm not sure what it is. Other people have been having the same issue. I'm thinking it's the weather. It has been a lot warmer than previous years. Usually winter is going well up until now. Just the frigid temperatures and all that. So that's an adjustment for them. Other parts of it is all these storms that come through. This is kind of weather we haven't had for a long time. Now we get the storms and stuff in the spring. But it's not usually all of the 60 to 80, 100 mile an hour winds that have been coming with these storms. They're not carrying as much lightning and all of that and the hail. So there's a lot more threats with the storms that are coming through now than what there has been. So there's a lot of stress factors in that that can affect the way that they're laying. We tried feed change. There was no difference. We went right back to what we were doing, as there's not that big of a price difference from what we were feeding, but it would have shaved off a couple of dollars. So I went ahead and went back to the layer pellets because I know they're getting nutrients out of those. They wouldn't be in the cracked corn. I want to make sure they're getting what they need, and there's just not a big difference in the price of the feed. So it's not like it's going to save us a fortune doing that. But we have kind of figured out a different feed routine for everybody, and it is working out fantastic. I always experiment and see what is going to work best, and we just go with it. It's whatever works. We try not to change feed up as much as possible, but things like the horses not being on grain, that makes a difference. We keep the emu and the chickens on the same feed. That's working out. The rabbits have their food, of course, and the chicks have their food. Meat chickens have their food. Meat chickens are an additional cost to our normal feed. So once that is done, that'll be expense off of our feed that we don't have to worry about. The turkeys and ducks get the same food as the chickens. We've never had a problem with that whatsoever. They do really well with that. The rabbits, as long as we can get rid of the babies, we're going this route again. They do put down a lot of feed, and rabbit food is not cheap by any means. So we're going to play that out and see how that works this time around. Unfortunately, there's not a huge market for rabbits. There is, but there's not. You got to be in the right area. You've definitely got to have a demand for it. And if we don't find that here, then we're probably not going to continue doing it. Down where we were at, it was a little bit easier to get rid of them. But we had plenty of sales and auctions and things that we could go to get rid of them. And excuse me. Wow, what a day. Anyway, the quail don't eat that much. I can really fill that gravity feeder plumb to the top, and I won't have to feed them again for a week. I mean, they're cheap as far as feed consumption. Now, I'm not too happy this morning about all the waste that's on the ground. Somebody apparently had a scratching party or something. I don't know, but there's a lot of feed on the ground that shouldn't be. So that's a little irritating. But yeah, we usually don't have to add feed in there for a long time. And that kind of waste is why I don't put a whole lot in there at a time. Even one scoop. Those feeders will take two. One scoop, half a container, will last for days. So their food consumption is not a concern at all. That food is a little bit on the pricier side, but we don't have to buy it but like once a month, so not a big deal there. Without babies, rabbit feed we're buying about once a month. With babies, we'll have to buy it at least twice a month to keep up with that demand. That's just part of it. I'm not complaining at all. That's just part of it. You have to plan for that. The meat birds, I'm going through a little bit more feed because I've changed up how I'm doing that. I took the tops off of the trays. We're just dumping the feed in there and letting them have at it. This is the last week to 2 weeks that we'll be doing feed out on them. So I'm just going to let them have whatever it is. I'm pretty sure we're going to have feed left over, but we may get a few more meat chickens and go from there. But we'll have to see. We'll just have to see. It's getting that time of year. It may be hard to get a hold of them now, harder than what it was. But we may just give it to somebody that needs it, can use it. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I don't think it's going to hurt other animals, such as other chickens, to eat that. If we do it in small portions, they're not going to get too much at once, and we may actually get an increased egg production. That would be spectacular. But anyway, we'll see what happens there. We're hoping by next week we will be filling the freezer, and that'll be awesome. We're waiting on a few more eggs to see if they're going to hatch. Right now we've got 4 ducklings in there, 3 turkeys and 1 chick, and we have some more chicken eggs in the incubator. They're nowhere near ready to hatch out yet, but we are waiting to see if our turkey is actually doing his job, and I don't think he's been able to, honestly, but we're going to see if we can get those turkeys to hatch. One of them is a couple of days past due. Another one is scheduled for today. So we're just gonna see what happens this batch, because last time they apparently weren't fertile. So we are gonna be seeing what happens with those this time. And if it doesn't happen this time, I'm just gonna quit until we get some new hens up and start getting eggs from them, because I'm pretty sure our hens are older. I just don't think he's able to mount them like he should, and we'll just try again in the future. It's not a big deal. I just want to get some young ones in so that we can replenish the flock. Those 2 ladies will live out the rest of their days just doing what they've been doing. They're beyond what I think I would put in the freezer. I'm not against doing that. We've done that with turkeys before, and not a big deal. But that being said, what else do we have that we can show you today? I'm thinking that we might show you some crops that we have coming up. We have watermelon coming up. That's exciting.
Wait, we do?
We do. There's one right here. And there's another one right here. So that means we'll have a bunch in here here very soon. And it looks like one right there popping up. We have a lot of them in here. We're waiting for them to come up. Then we will transplant them. And then the more exciting news, man, this is really taken off just in a day's time. All of these are sunflowers.
My beans.
This one here is not doing anything. This one's not doing anything. But all of the rest of them are. So 2 of these have not done anything yet. This one might. It looks like we might have one trying right there. We'll have to wait and see. Everything else is coming up. That is awesome. We will get those transplanted as soon as they're a little bit taller, and I know that they will do something. Um, Unfortunately, my daughter's beans have not come through yet, surprisingly. We're not sure what's going on here. I don't know how old they were.
There's one.
I
think. Right there.
Oh, that might be. It might be. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
And we found.
We'll have to make sure there wasn't no grass in here or anything, because that bag sat out for a long time. So,
I think we found a diamond.
yeah, they might be. They might be coming.
Look inside the rock right
That
there.
That is not a diamond, honey.
It's sparkly.
Yep.
I thought they were teeth at first.
That's a special kind of rock. It's quartz.
I'm keeping it.
Alright, well, we'll just have to keep an eye on these, because I'm not really seeing anything else trying to come up in here. But the others are definitely starting to come through. Those were a school experiment for her. I don't know how old those seeds are or anything about them. I asked her to plant them in the garden. Unfortunately, she was in a bit of a hurry and didn't wait for Dad, so I'm not 100% certain that they're not in there too deep. And they did set where all the water came off of the roof. Got washed out a few times, so it's not been the best circumstances for them. But she wanted to plant them outside of the garden. I'm not sure how it's going to pan out with chickens and horses and things that eat plants, but I'm going to let her. They're her plants, so we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. So far, the chickens have left the squash plant over there alone. They haven't gotten into our garden. They could easily fly over that fence if they can get into the dog pen. Our garden is just doing amazing. It's loving all this rain. And there for a minute I thought I was going to have to water it. But I waited, and we got more rain. And let me tell you, it is doing fantastic. We've got cucumbers coming. We've got squash coming. And we're kind of waiting on everything else. The other cucumbers have started blooming. I'm waiting for them to get a little bit longer. They seem to be growing a lot slower than the pickling cucumbers. But I'm waiting for them to get long enough to where I can actually start vining them up and get those going. We've got a few on our pickling that I'm still waiting to get a little bit longer so I can help them to the next stage. Tomatoes, they're not even trying to bloom really. I think I seen one with a bloom on it the other day, and I don't know. But the asparagus is taking off, or not asparagus. Okra is starting to grow down there a little more. These carrots are getting huge. I just left a few because we've never done very good with carrots, and I just left a few here and there in there, and just left it at that. But they are getting pretty big. Unfortunately, our eggplant is not faring well, so I don't think we're going to be looking forward to that. Our lettuce is just, wow. Trying to figure out if these guys are going to do anything or not. I may just have to go get some new ones and just leave them alone. Broccoli is doing good. Look at there. I don't even have to go in there. And they all have heads on them. So does the cauliflower. Now, the cauliflower has not done as well as the broccoli. So that is interesting. And by the looks of it, we're going to be picking some squash here very soon. I don't know if I can get you all to see that or not. That one's getting to be a pretty good size, which makes me wonder how our two from the beginning are doing down there. But we have definitely got a lot of squash in here. Let's see if we can see. I may have to go in there and show you. We can walk on the other end down there, but the cucumbers are doing good. We've got cucumbers on the vines already. I would have loved if it would have waited, but it is definitely climbing all over this, and that is absolutely what I wanted. I was trying to get them to climb up to the top, but they're kind of doing what they want to do. I'm okay with that. These are just not quite long enough to get started on this yet. That one down there is possible, since it's almost touching the zucchini. And the zucchini is definitely coming up and doing its thing. The corn is happy. It is standing up straight again, and it has definitely grown. So beans, we're still waiting on them. I thought they'd take off a little bit quicker than what they are, but yeah, we're just waiting on them to do their thing. Those down there don't seem to be doing as good as these up here. I'm wondering if that's a fertilizer thing, because that down there is where all of the horse manure and the hay and stuff broke down into soil, and this up here, not so much. So it's kind of interesting. I talked about that in another video. It just seems interesting to see what the difference is here. And it would have been great to get more cucumbers planted down there. That can still happen. We still have plenty of growing season left, so this is not just a this is what it is garden. We definitely have time to plant some more stuff in here. So it's just taking time, figuring out what we want. And that was a little pun, talking about gardening and time, you know. Anyway, if you're a gardener, you'll get it. But yeah, we're gonna wait, see what happens. We're trying to decide what we want to plant. We got to make sure that it can be around corn. We have to make sure it can be around squash and cucumbers. So that's a big one there. We're thinking about some root crops, but we don't know for sure yet. If these tomatoes don't start doing something, we may have to look at some different tomato plants here, but I don't know. It's a little weird to me, because normally they've started. These have seemed to come up, and then the roots, or not the roots, but the leaves seem to like curl over. I've never seen this in tomatoes, so it's a little odd to me. What is going on here? I don't know. I'm thinking it may be a nutrient thing. We're going to have to get something and put in there for those guys. I really wish the horses would stop pushing this fence. But they've got it really bent. We'll have to see what happens. I'm probably going to get some stuff to put around them, just to give them a little bit of a boost, and see if I can find some more dirt to put around them, see if we can get some more roots growing, and we'll go from there. Like I said, it's a little weird for me on the tomatoes as far as what's going on. I've normally had a lot of good luck with tomatoes, so we'll just see. We'll see what happens. But the garden's doing good. Our sunflowers are coming up. They are the variety that is going to get 7 to 12 foot tall, and I'm excited for that. We're going to harvest those as long as everything turns out right, and we're going to use those for our birds. We won't get a whole lot out of them, but I'm sure it'll be enough to treat chickens and turkeys and stuff. Just be a little treat. And like I said, it's trial and error. Seeing what we can grow and see what happens. And I'll do that at my next place. I'll see what grows, what doesn't. And I'll see what we need to change, and we'll make it happen. I really wish this place is big enough because we could stay here. But as soon as I can find something that's bigger and better, that's what's going to happen. But we will be here until that happens. That kind of thing takes time. So that being said, I think that's everything. The baby bunnies are doing absolutely great. I showed them to you guys. I don't know if I showed them to you this morning. We can go over there real quick. Check them out. I guess I can check the chicks out. And then we'll call it a day. We're almost at the end of our record time anyway, but they are doing fantastic, guys. They're doing fantastic. So, Mama is doing well. And we have a storm coming in. Alright, so we have babies in here somewhere. I can't really see my phone to see if you can see them or not. Ooh, you're not focused at all. Ugh. How do you get? You guys didn't see nothing, did you? That was ew. Let's go with the clearer view, shall we? You want to see babies, not a blur. There they are. There they are. There's two turkeys there. There's our ducks over there in the corner. These two are trying to be brave. There's the other. That is a chick there. Where is our other turkey? Okay, there's two turkeys there and a turkey there. But, we're going to have to let you go for today. We got to get feed and water done before this storm actually gets crazy. We're supposed to have some more severe stuff rolling through this evening. So, yeah, we'll have to see how that goes. But, yeah, we're going to get off here. We're going to get these animals taken care of. And we will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Have a great week.